Welcome to Paul Polman.
It's like a wonderful audience here.
Good to see you. Thank you. Take it.
Aren't they great people? Listen, I just came in here yesterday night and I'm trying to stay awake. It's about 2 o'clock in the morning in Europe. I'm not sure how you are doing it. How many are here from Europe? How many are here from the US? How many are locals? Well done, well done, well done. You know, there's about 35% of the people in Thailand are actually below 35 years old. So this is a very young part of the world, and I firmly believe that it's the young who are going to make the changes. We'll talk about that in a second. This is indeed my 6th year in One Young World. I certainly don't want to miss it. The same energy that you get from being here, I get as well. Yesterday I walked into our office. We had about 75 people there looking at some of our sustainable plans around our brands. Who were the people that were in our office yesterday? Did you enjoy it? Have you become Ben & Jerry fans? Good. That's what we need. Save this world, as you just heard. The same thing yesterday night. I had a very engaging dinner with our 53 delegates from Unilever that are here. 6 years, 50 people, there's 300 people. If you have 300 people in a company, even a company our size, it is a movement for change. And that's obviously what we are looking for. Amazing people. You heard Esther talk about her Stand Tall. You had Macy Rose, I'm not sure if she's here, just simply starting an action, giving everybody a little note. Aaron Schroeder, who was one of the first ones I met in the first One Young World event, starting a Green for Teens movement, getting people to be more environmentally conscious. Ajarit Bajaj, who had a simple notion, which I thought was very powerful, to go to the UN and say no war for religious reasons, no war in the name of religion. And in fact, let's start with that, because it's more important now than ever. If you just look at the last few days or last few weeks, we've had some awful tragedies in the world. It was the Paris tragedy, the Ankara bombing, the blowing up of the Russian plane, the explosions in Lebanon, all of that in a period of about 2 weeks. 500 innocent people losing their lives unnecessarily. Yesterday night again, I switched on the television. In Mali, the Radisson Hotel, another 29 or 30 people. There's something here that doesn't quite work. And all of this has their roots more than ever, in my opinion, in two of the biggest challenges that we have as citizens, which is climate change and poverty. In fact, you heard in the previous presentation the changes that are happening to our planet Earth, and that we only have one of them. Now, when I asked our Unilever people that are here yesterday, what is the most interesting thing you want me to talk about, they say just very simple, don't talk more than 15 minutes and then we'll do Q&A. So I'll try to, which is very difficult for me to do 15 minutes. If you give me 20, I'll take the 20. And then we'll do Q&As. But 2015, for some reason, with the stars aligned, is one of the most important years in human history. It's in fact the year that we agree on the Sustainable Development Goals. We've just done that in New York. Very audacious goals. In fact, the Sustainable Development Goal has as a goal to irreversibly eradicate poverty in a more sustainable and equitable way. And doing that in the next 15 years is an enormous audacious goal. I don't think any business, I don't think any individual would sign off to such a challenging goal. Then we had the Financing for Development conference, because someone has to pay for all of this. That's obviously always where the sticky points are. And then in Paris, we have the first opportunity to put our words into action with what is called the COP21, which is the climate change agreements. And as you well know better than I do, climate change is a development agenda. In fact, it's the poor people once more that suffer from climate change. You see it in this parts of the world, you see it in Africa, and you see it in fact in the world's conflicts. Most of the conflicts that we have, including the Syrian conflict, have as a root cause actually climate change, which then causes people migration, suffering and hunger, and it's the poor, again once more, that suffer. Development agenda, climate change, same sides of the same, two sides of the same coin. In fact, the World Bank Jim Kim, who runs the World Bank, just issued a report only a week ago that said that if we don't take action to stay below the 2 degrees of global warming, in the next 30 years, you'll have another 100 million people slipping into poverty. I don't think we want to let that happen. Now, the Sustainable Development Goals follow the Millennial Development Goals. You've seen Kofi Annan here. Kofi was here, no? So you've seen Kofi here. Kofi started in the year 2000, the Millennial Development Goals. At that time, they were a little bit more narrowly defined, basically for the emerging markets, to halve the number of people in poverty. We've actually achieved that. We've come a long way in the 15 years. More women are in education. We've achieved the goals of access to water. But the job is only half done. We now need to do the whole way. Look at this little movie that Richard Curtis made. It's 1 minute long, about why we shouldn't go halfway.